possible? Thank you.
हाँ, ओके।
हमारे वक्त की धड़कन, हमारा चिंतन, हमारी भावनाएं, हमारे विचार, कभी कोमल बातचीत तो कभी इंटरेक्शन तेज तर्रार। तय करें मिलकर व्हाट इज रॉन्ग, व्हाट इज राइट। आईटीवी पर अशोक व्यास के साथ इनसाइट टुनाइट।
नमस्कार, मैं अशोक व्यास। आज के इनसाइट टुनाइट कार्यक्रम में आपका स्वागत करते हुए हम ध्यान देने वाले हैं एक ऐसे मुद्दे पर जो हम सब के लिए चिंता का विषय ही नहीं है, साथ ही साथ वो हमें उद्वेलित भी करता है कि हम कर क्या रहे हैं। जब ऐसी घटनाओं की खबर हमारे पास तक पहुंचती है कि किसी निश्चल महिला की इज्जत पर हमला किया गया। कहीं शिलोंग में ऐसा हुआ कि उसके बच्चों के सामने मां के साथ जबरदस्ती करने वाले व्यक्ति का विरोध करने पर उस मां की बच्चों के सामने हत्या कर दी गई। कभी हमारे पास ऐसी खबर आती है कि 12, 14, 16 बरस की बच्चियों के साथ सामूहिक रूप से बलात्कार किया गया। भारत में महिलाओं के सम्मान की बात बराबर होती रही है। पारंपरिक रूप से भी भारतीय संस्कृति में महिलाओं को पूजनीय स्थान दिया गया है, पर पिछले कुछ समय को देखा जाए और आंकड़ों की तरफ जाएं तो पिछले वर्षों में 1971 में अगर 2500 रेप रिलेटेड केसेस रिकॉर्ड होते थे तो 2012 तक आते आते ये संख्या 25,000 तक पहुंच गई है। 10 गुना बढ़ोतरी हुई है महिलाओं के ऊपर होने वाले हमलों में, उनके साथ की जाने वाली जबरदस्ती में। क्या हो गया है हमें, क्या हो गया है उन युवाओं को जो बढ़ते बढ़ते ये सीख अपने साथ नहीं सहेज पाते कि हर मनुष्य का सम्मान होना चाहिए, महिलाओं के प्रति संवेदनशील व्यवहार उनके आचरण में निश्चित रूप से आना चाहिए। Now today when we are meeting in this show, in the past 2 weeks also we have heard about cases where we were disturbed by getting the information that one girl was raped in Amethi, or there was this case that happened in Shillong, or there were 2 girls who were raped in Badaयूं. And on the top of it, we also are witnessing some of the leaders giving these kind of statements. Earlier, we heard the statement of Samajwadi Party leader Mulayam Singh Yadav saying that boys make mistakes, so this is not crime befitting capital punishment. And just a day ago, Home Minister of Madhya Pradesh, Babulal Gaur, also made a statement which is seen as showing some kind of insensitivity because he said sometimes rapes are justified, something to that effect. Today, with your help in this show, we are trying to see in what way we can work collectively to prevent such things from happening. Is it impossible? Should we give up? Or should we think about ways to come up with some ideas, certain steps that individually also, wherever we are, we can take to prevent such things from escalating? I have the pleasure of the presence of Anand Ahuja ji with me, who will be looking at this issue from the legal framework's point of view, attorney at law, Anand ji. And then I also have the pleasure of welcoming Sherry Blair. Sherry is organizational consultant, and then you are also conducting Positivity Pulse, and you are founder of ISIS, which is Inspirational Services, Innovative.
It's Innovative Specialist Inspirational Services.
Innovative Specialist. So we will seek her insight into how innovatively we can work collectively in preventing such things from happening. And then I also have the pleasure of welcoming Duranto. Duranto, you have been very closely working with some of the victims who suffered because of rape, and you have known their mental state closely, and you have certain ideas that you feel might help in preventing such things from happening. I will begin by Sherry to help us understand what is it that one would understand this word rape consists of in the common terminology, the way rape is used. What is it that you would call as rape?
Well, when you look at rape along the continuum, obviously sexual assault comes to mind first. But when we're looking at crimes against women as it comes, of course there are some men and boys who are raped as well, but majority is women. When you look at that, there's a total loss, victimization, power and control, where they no longer have any power in that situation, and then that is stripped from them.
And you also wrote a book which is Transforming Our Rape Culture. And in the preamble, it says what is a rape culture? It's a complex of beliefs that encourages male sexual aggression and supports violence against women. Now, why this kind of state becomes a part of the culture where violence against women is encouraged? Let me request Duranto, आपने जो देखा भारत में जिन बलात्कार से पीड़ित बालिकाओं से, महिलाओं से आप मिले, उनके साथ बातचीत से आपको क्या लगा? क्यों ऐसी स्थिति आती है? Why rape?
Okay, the thing is this: it's who is victim by the rapist. So I mean, it's easily I can't say about what is going on in girl's mind. But why it has happened, that's the rapist know well. Mm-hmm. So, and what happened after that, who is victim, that is terrible. That's I can't even explain in my word, because I saw them very closely. And in India, the main thing has happened that if the main problem is this: if anybody get raped, then after, 1 day, 2 day, it will, there's lots of people come and, okay, sympathize, okay. But after that, the thing has happened that socially that girl is isolated. So that, and after that, it is end up suicide. And if you saw last 2 days before, what happened in Badayun in Uttar Pradesh, that family is already they migrated. Mm. So in India, that's a bigger problem than that. Mm-hmm. Because like यहाँ क्या होता है? What happened is here, if anybody is victim, then okay, after 1 day, 2 day, everything is okay, gone, and it's going to that's rapist, they get in front of judgment, prosecution, okay. But in India, जो रेप करते हैं, the sinner after week, months or 2 months they get bailed, and what happened, who is victim, they get actually punished. So that's the bigger issue in India.
And Durant, in this recent case, father of the boy who was perpetrator, he actually threatened girl's mother or girl's father and then beat them up also. So sometimes looks like the law is non-existent. And of course, people start referring to Uttar Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, whatever state. But I think wherever it is a crime against humanity. And talking from a legal point of view, Anandji, is there additional teeth that you feel law requires which might prevent such things from happening?
अशोक जी कहते कि नारी ना बन पाई सीता, पुरुष न बन पाया राम, धोबी बना विजेता और सब भारतीयों को मेरा प्रणाम। क्योंकि हम बात भारत की कर रहे हैं और as far as the laws are concerned, laws are there, like there are traffic laws, there are other laws in India, same way there are criminal laws to prevent these kind of incidents. But unfortunately, as my friend he said, that it's a problem with the implementation of laws. To what extent those laws are effectively implemented. So what happens in India, like he said, that a rapist commits crime and then some political pressure, somebody comes in and then the person gets bailed out with the result that no further prosecution takes place. That encourages others to commit those kind of crimes. So there are two things. Number one, you have to look into the laws. By and large, laws are in this country and laws are in India also. The only difference is that in this country, laws are implemented. It doesn't matter, you may know some very high up, you may be related to very high up. I can give you a lot of examples. Say, for example, Mike Tyson, he had to go to jail on the charges of rape. Whereas in India, if Mike Tyson would have been in India, nobody would have dared to touch him. So those kind of culture we have in India that, okay, I know somebody. And unfortunately or fortunately, everybody knows somebody in India. So that's if you compare, like you mentioned, Ashok, you mentioned the number of rapes in 2012 in India were 25,000, right? Unfortunately, reported. Unfortunately, India is considered as the rape capital of the world. But if you compare incidents of rapes taking place in India as compared to United States, in 2011, United States has a population of 300 million. India has a population of 1.2 billion. In 1.2 billion, there are reported cases, rape cases are 25,000, whereas in 2011, population of 300 million, in United States, rape reported cases were 85,425. So if you compare, the number of rape cases are more in the United States. In fact, United States is number one country in the world with reported rape cases. India is unreported rape cases, but the difference is that in India, you commit a crime, you commit a rape, and then you can go scot-free. Nobody is going to touch you. Whereas in the United States, you commit a crime, and then you are punished.
So, Anand, we will continue this conversation, and we definitely want to see in what way this can be prevented from happening. And I want to share this small clip where Prime Minister, who was actually not Prime Minister at the time, Narendra Modi ji, was asked about this issue. And this is what he had to say. Let's take a look at what Narendra Modi ji said about taking care of women's safety.
हमारे देश में महिला के खिलाफ जो क्राइम है वो किसी एक परिवार, एक व्यक्ति तक सीमित विषय नहीं है, पूरी मानव जात के सामने कलंक का विषय है। न ही हिंदुस्तान में, न ही किसी राज्य में, अंतर्राष्ट्रीय जगत में भारत की छवि को धूमिल करने वाली बातें हैं। इसलिए एक देश के नाते, एक समाज के नाते, एक सरकार के नाते हमें और अधिक संवेदनशील होने की जरूरत है। मोदी गवर्नमेंट है, उसको भी जो होने की जरूरत है। ये विषय ऐसा है जिसको राजनीतिक छींतराकसी से दूर रखना चाहिए। विमेन डिग्निटी ये हमारी प्रायोरिटी होनी चाहिए। न मुझे इसके विषय में कांग्रेस को गाली गलौज करना चाहिए, न ही मुझे राहुल गांधी को गाली गलौज करना चाहिए, क्योंकि मैं मानता हूं हम तो हमारी राजनीति करते रहेंगे, लेकिन प्रताड़ित हमारी माताएं बहनें होती हैं, उनकी बेइज्जती होती है। भगवान की खातिर मैं सबको कहता हूं। अभी एक दिन मुलायम सिंह जी ने कुछ बोल दिया, दिल्ली में इतना निर्भया का कांड चल रहा था, मुझे मीडिया ने बहुत पूछा था, मैंने कहा मेरी प्रायोरिटी है विमेन डिग्निटी। मैं और राजनीतिक दल या और सरकार को गाली गलौज में मैं ये भूल जाता हूँ, मैं विमेन डिग्निटी को ही हर्ट कर रहा हूँ, और इसलिए इस विषय में मेरी सोच पूरी तरह अपोलिटिकल है। इट शुड बी अपोलिटिकल।
तो बड़े सख्त शब्दों में नरेंद्र मोदी जी ने ये बात कही थी कि किसी महिला के साथ कहीं भी इस तरह का व्यवहार होता है वो पूरी मानवता के लिए कलंक है। और अब जब वो प्रधानमंत्री जी हैं, उनके प्रधानमंत्री बनने के बाद भी इस तरह की घटनाओं की रोकथाम हो नहीं पाई है। पिछले 2 सप्ताह से इस तरह के समाचार हमारे पास पहुंचकर हमें व्यथित कर रहे हैं, उद्वेलित कर रहे हैं। और निश्चित रूप से ये मुद्दा सिर्फ सरकार का नहीं है। सरकार अपने तौर पर कुछ करे, जितना कुछ कर सके करे, पर एक आम नागरिक होने के नाते हम क्या कर सकते हैं? इज देयर एनी वे टू चेंज द मेंटालिटी ऑफ बॉयज और दोज मेन हु इंडल्ज इन aggressive behavior against women? We'll continue our conversation and we'll encourage you also to share your ideas. Let's take a short break.
To advertise in this show, please call 347-653-1309.
Spirituality is the medium which frees our mind of all emotional shackles and temptations and guides us towards enlightenment and peace. Himali Spiritual Center is the gateway to liberation from pain, misery and suffering. Here, through religion, meditation, yoga, worship and gem therapy, all troubles are treated. Himali Spiritual Center, 718-887-2929.
Your eyes are the windows to your world. Trust your eyes to Malik Eye Care. This is where ophthalmology, optometry, and opticianry join under one roof to meet all your vision needs. Our offices house a plethora of state-of-the-art lasers and diagnostic equipment. I'm a board-certified ophthalmologist and a member of the American Academy of Ophthalmology, and also a fellow of the American College of Physicians and Surgeons. I've done thousands of ocular surgeries to restore vision to many patients. Consult our offices to see how we can improve your vision. We look forward to seeing you at your next appointment.
Attention women and men, how would you like to lose weight in noticeable inches off your stomach in less than an hour? Well, now you can. Introducing Optima Body Wrap, the revolutionary, easy-to-use body wrap that goes to work fast. It's like nothing you've ever tried before. There are no expensive meals to buy, strenuous workouts, and you don't have to change your daily life. Now you can go from this to this in no time. It's so easy to use. Just take out the ready-to-use cloth applicator with our powerful botanical formula and put it on your stomach, legs, or your butt. The Optima Body Wrap works fast to hydrate your skin and deliver maximum tightening and firming in less than an hour.
Look at that, that's 2 inches. Wow, this really works. I dropped over 3 inches in an hour.
So if you want to go from this to this in less than an hour, call and get your Optima Body Wrap for just $19.95. And if you call in the next 15 minutes, we'll give you a second body wrap for free. Just pay additional process and handling. That's less than $10 per wrap. Call now.
Look at me. 26 pounds, 4 months later, didn't change a thing.
Rajasthani Association of North America invites you to its 4th convention from 3rd July to 6th July. 3 days of Shandar entertainment, Rajasthani folk dances, Bollywood night with Patti Lahari and party, Lajawab Raja Rajasthani food, a special sessions for youth and matrimony in a bazaar jewelry. Register online ranausa.org 516-286-1774. वेलकम बैक, यू वाचिंग इनसाइड टुनाइट विद अशोक व्यास। आज हम बात कर रहे हैं वॉर, वर्क अगेंस्ट रेप। रेप न हो इसके लिए आप क्या कर सकते हैं, हम क्या कर सकते हैं, हम मिलजुल कर क्या कर सकते हैं। इसके लिए ये समझना भी ज़रूरी है कि रेप करने वाले लोग क्या मानसिकता रखते हैं। क्या ये वो लोग हैं जो महिला को जानते नहीं हैं? क्या ये वो लोग हैं जो महिला को अच्छी तरह जानते हैं? एंड whom to trust? If we look at this question from the point of view of women, Sherry, what would you say potentially where is the threat that a woman is facing from this point of view?
Women are facing threats every day globally around the world because, well, comments, like you said, from that leader. If you look at their book, Transforming a Rape Culture, there's a number of different authors, men and women, saying this is what we need to do for resistance, is start changing that mentality. To say boys made a mistake, that's really accepting. That's a criminal act, and that's really accepting. And it's not only about the physical, the sexual assault, but it's the raping of and eroding of the psychology, the emotional, the spiritual. It becomes a soul crisis. I know it was mentioned here about then there could be potential suicide. So it's so complex and major ramifications occur thereafter.
Now, in such a complex situation, when we analyze what has happened, Durant, sometimes we have come across situations where relatives have also been the perpetrators.
Yes, that thing has happened. I want to give you an example that like 20 years before in Bangladesh, this thing has happened. After there is a riot happened, and one girl crossed the border for safety, and she took shelter in her relative's house, and her cousin raped her. But while in Bangladesh this thing has happened, she can say, loudly, that's okay, this man, this boy, these things, okay. But inside house, her own cousin raped her, she can't say it. So, we, in India, earlier I mentioned that we need rehabilitation for that. And I just want to give you an example that how we can resist, but how we can,
empower.
Yeah, like women empowerment. We are talking always women empowerment. I want to give you an example. In my childhood, at that time I was kid, like I was 9 years or 10 years, and I was walking in a garden with my cousin, but he's, older. What happened? Two girls was, in morning walk, and 8 to 10 boys, they are actually teasing. Something, bad comments about those girls. Those girls were so beautiful. And suddenly, I was in a very bad position because I think you understand that I was kid at that time. So anyway, so what happened? One girl asking, that's, hey, don't do anything bad. You will be regret. Then again, it's looked like a Hindi movie. And the people, but the problem is this, the hero will not enter over there. But what happened in next? That's two girls in front of my eyes. They actually, you can't imagine what happened. They know martial art. They know taekwondo. And 8 and 10 boys, they actually hurt by them. So I'm saying that's always I look at Hindi movie that like bachao, save me, okay? So why not you? In India, we should, not only India, this is the problem, India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, everywhere. We should, asking our leader That's okay. That's earlier Narendra Modi also talking about that. That this is not the problem of Narendra Modi or Rahul Gandhi or even Nawaz Sharif, Bangladesh, Sheikh Hasina, anybody. That's mandatory. That's any girl from 4th grade, they should go for taekwondo, for self-defense. They should get training. And who get, in night time, they go for job. Government should allow them to get weapons, but not that kind of weapons.
Let me come back to you. And many times we hear this kind of argument that after such and such time, if a lady is walking out of her home, she's potentially inviting some danger. So, they should not leave their home after a certain time, and it of course varies from cities to city, but that's a general argument. Another thing which they say is the way the girl or the lady is dressed. That also is something which is causing these things. What would you say, Anandji, about this argument? And this is coming again and again, and in recent times some leaders from different states have also said such things.
There are two things. Number one, I personally believe that there shouldn't be any excuse to commit a crime of rape. Irrespective of how a woman dresses up, you have to give respect to a woman, and that should not be an excuse to commit the crime of rape. The second is, if you see the statistics, say for example in United States, it's only 21% rapes have been committed by strangers. Majority of rapes are committed by your own known persons, either your close friends or your relatives. So in those kind of situations, irrespective of how a woman dresses up, when somebody within your own family or in your own home is going to commit that kind of crime, I'm reminded of an old couplet, कि कहते हैं कि काला दिन और काली रात, काला दिन और काली रात, तमाम शहर और बस एक ही बात, पतन कहूँ या इसे खोखला वतन, पतन कहूँ या इसे खोखला वतन, किस और चली है आदम की ये ज़ात. तो आदम की ज़ात, we men basically, are we looking for excuses that just because a woman is not properly dressed up, that means I have a right to commit that kind of crime? What kind of society we are living in? I mean, we're talking about India. In India, as you said in the very beginning, women has always been traditionally regarded and has been commanding great respect. We know that even during Ram's time, Lord Rama could not perform Ashwamedha Yagna without his Ardhangini's presence there. So they had to, whatever they had to do. So take any scripture, take any religion, each and every religion actually directs men that you have to give full respect to a woman. So that I don't agree that just because that's just an excuse. I personally believe socially it's our responsibility. Our leaders, they should refrain from making those kind of statements that boys are boys will commit mistakes, why hang them? Or like Abu Azam, who is again Abu Azmi, who is again member of that same political party, Samajwadi. He's from Mumbai, and he made that kind of statement that women should be hanged if they indulge into sex before marriage, without forgetting that his own daughter-in-law, Aisha Takia, was a film actress. Right? So if you are coming from that particular culture and making that kind of statements that women should be hanged if they indulge into premarital sex, I personally believe that's absurd kind of statement. So our politicians, by and large, they have to be responsible. They are the ones who are giving us leads. They are our leaders. They have to set an example. Unless they set an example, how masses are going to follow them and implement those laws? Even if those those laws will be on books only.
Anand, let's go back towards the social side of it, where sometimes we have heard that there were going for a date, or they were meeting for the first time after being introduced to each other through internet, some social media, or some website which makes such meetings possible. That situation, and the situation where there's a live-in relationship, or for that matter sometimes husband and wife, but husband indulges in forceful sexual behavior. So now, Sherry, since you work with students and teenagers also, in what way do you think boys form impressions of having these kind of desires and this kind of aggression, and what can help in making sure that their conduct is happening in a civilized fashion?
Well, today we do have many different definitions of rape that do include rape in relationships. So acquaintance rape, date rape, marital rape, which we did not have before the women's movement, at least here in the United States. With teenagers that age, they rape because they can. Well, the boys in India, they rape because they can. They often will get away with it. Oftentimes somebody will not come forward. As far as changing it, those conversations need to be had with first starting in the homes, in the communities, in the religious organizations, that this is not an acceptable way for us to behave. There is, no matter how anyone is dressed, it's regardless of that, and that we cannot objectify women, and women are objectified and looked at sex objects. And then there's a lot to do with media and celebrities and how sex is really sold to everyone psychologically, so you think it's okay. I can take that. I can do whatever I want. That is not a person. That is an object to be had.
So this, Durant, I want you to share, you grew up in India. ये जो बात कह रहे हैं कि उसको एक भोग की वस्तु की तरह, नारी की तरफ देखने की जो वृत्ति है, वो इंटरनेट के कारण, जिस तरह की फिल्में आ रही हैं, जिस तरह के कार्यक्रम दूरदर्शन टेलीविजन चैनल्स पर देखते हैं, उससे भी कहीं ना कहीं बढ़ रहा है. आपको क्या लगता है, पहले से कुछ युवाओं की दृष्टि में आपको लगता है कुछ परिवर्तन हुआ है क्या?
Okay, before the internet and social media, okay, you're talking about 1971. At that time also rape was happened. So, I mean, you can't blame internet. Every single thing there is use and abuse. But, I mean, I want to say, like, that's a, if my two kids, one son and daughter, if they are in home, I can say that I'm safe. Because why? From childhood, I teach my son and daughter, and my wife also teach my son and daughter, and the whole circumstances, whole society teach them that don't look your mom and especially your sister bad eyes.
Right.
So I believe in that way. Sometimes constitution, law can't do lots of things. Like if you teach them from childhood that okay, that's every girl for a certain age. If you see the Vedic era at that time, like that's till 30 year, the people will go to Guru Griha and practice brahmacharya. So if you encourage them, that's okay. That your any kind of girl before marriage, or I mean, I'm not talking about that's I mean, give them respect. If any mom teach them from their childhood, that will be more effective. That's I believe.
So we are going to go towards another break, but before we do that, I know some of you are trying to reach us, but in the flow of conversation, we can pick your calls at that time. Now, after this break, if you have any suggestion that you feel might be helpful in making this conversation more meaningful and effective in terms of formulating certain ideas about how this work against rape can continue by common men, in what way we can play our role, we'll be talking about that right after this break.
To advertise in this show, please call 347-653-1309.
Spirituality is the medium which frees our mind of all emotional shackles and temptations and guides us towards enlightenment and peace. Himali Spiritual Center is the gateway to liberation from pain, misery, and suffering. Here, through religion, meditation, yoga, worship, and gem therapy, all troubles are treated. Himali Spiritual Center, 718-887-2929.
I am your immigration attorney, Michael Fulwani.
And I'm your immigration attorney, David Nachman.
Keep watching us, our program on immigration and you.
For the latest information, updates, and developments about immigration law.
Every Saturday at 8:15 p.m.
And wake up to us on Sunday at 11:45 a.m.
Do you want to lose weight fast?
Then get out your smartphone now.
Because Only Protein, the protein system for weight loss, has a great TV offer.
Only Protein's about athletic performance.
It's also a great meal replacement that helps you lose weight.
Performance, princess.
Weight loss, big shot.
People are passionate about the Only Protein system.
The results are for real.
Because it does more than boost your energy, it also helps control your appetite and burn fat all day.
I'm losing weight without losing muscle.
Just 103 calories per serving. The meal replacement you want, the energy you need. It's more than just protein. It's Only Protein.
All right, you win.
With Only Protein, we both win. It's about feeling better.
And being better.
I feel better than I have in years.
Order now and get our meal replacement on the go 10-pack, protein powder 5-pack, plus our new Metatherm weight loss pills. It's an $84 weight loss value for just $19.99 risk-free. Order now and get free shipping. Only Protein. Feel better, be better.
वेलकम बैक इनसाइड टुनाइट। आज के कार्यक्रम में हम बात कर रहे हैं किस तरह से हम कलेक्टिवली कुछ ऐसा माहौल बना सकते हैं जो रेप की घटनाओं पर रोक लगा सके। एंड टॉकिंग अबाउट दिस फ्रॉम द लीगल पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू, कंपेयरिंग विद इफ देयर इज एनी डिफरेंस बिटवीन लीगल फ्रेमवर्क एज फार एज रेप केसेस आर कंसर्न्ड इन इंडिया एंड अमेरिका, व्हाट वुड यू से, आनंद जी?
There are some differences. Say, for example, marital rape when you are married, right? And in United States, irrespective of the fact what your relationship with the other person are, if there is no consent from your partner, you cannot forcibly have a sex with your partner. That constitutes as rape in the United States. However, in India, if you are married and if your partner is not willing to have sex with you and you forcibly have sex with your partner, that's not considered as rape. The funny thing is here that after this December 16, 2012 rape case, Government of India appointed, it's known as Verma Commission. Verma Commission actually recommended that should be included, that marital rape should be included in the definition of rape. In fact, the definition of rape was changed in April 2013 in India, and the section 375 has included a lot of other areas what constitutes rape and what does not constitute rape. Say, for example, definition of penetration has been changed. It doesn't have to be deep penetration. It doesn't have to be penetration vagina. It could be in mouth, or it could be anus or anything. It doesn't have to be penetration of penis. It could be any object. But unfortunately, even though Verma Commission recommended that marital rape should be included in the definition of rape given in section 375 of Indian criminal law, government did not accept that recommendation. So unfortunately, that's one major difference. And then the age of consent. Say if you are having consensual sexual relationship in United States, especially we are talking of New York, you are not in a position to give consent till you are over the age of 17 and over the age of 17. So under 17, you cannot give consent. So if you are having a sexual relationship, even with the consent of the person in New York, you are still committing a rape. However, in India, again, Verma Commission's recommendations were that age of consent should be increased, which government didn't accept that. So these are basically two major differences. And then the length of, say, for example, in India, for the crime of rape, it's minimum 7 years and maximum life, and it's aggravated rape, then it's minimum 10 years to life. Whereas in United States, the punishment is much, much harsher than what it is in India.
तो पनिशमेंट हार्श इंडिया में भी होना चाहिए, ऐसा कॉमन सेंस कहता है, बिकॉज प्रिवेंट करने में किसी भी तरह का भय अगर कुछ अपनी भूमिका निभा सकता है तो कानूनन तो उसको आना ही चाहिए। हाल ही में जब बयानबाजी की चर्चा हम नेताओं की तरफ से करें तो समाजवादी के एक नेता राम गोपाल यादव, so what he said, Sherry, is that sometimes there is relationship between a boy and girl, and when people start becoming aware of this relationship, then the girl says or blames the boy that there was a case of rape. Of course, this is a very ridiculous kind of a way to put this, but taking a cue from this, I want to go towards the area where we talk about growing in a healthy way, where we talk about growing in a way where you are sensitive to your needs also, but you know how to take care of those needs in a way that you do not intrude upon the area of respect of any other human being. From that point of view, do you see that kind of conversation happening in schools or amongst family members where this becomes a part of their DNA?
Well, some of those conversations have begun to happen, and a lot because of the women's rights movement here and various laws that have come about and things that have occurred. You are seeing more of those conversations. You are seeing parents encouraged to have those conversations, to raise boys and girls from a perspective of complete equality and respect toward one another. You are seeing some of those conversations in schools, but is there enough of it? I mean, there's not enough cultural diversity training overall. It's coming, and we do see it amped up, but there is not enough of it, and then there's not enough support of it. So even if parents are having those conversations, that's usurped because when they go out into the community, they're seeing so many different things that they're getting messages where they're learning. I mean, children, we have social learning. Children are learning socially, so they're learning from their peers. They're learning from the media, what we see, what's objectification, as I was saying before. So it really takes that village to have this full-fledged effort from way down at the micro level, macro, the meso level with families and communities, and then to the larger, the macro, where we're looking at policy and laws, and then everyone stands behind it. The laws, as we were saying before, they're just as good as the paper they're written on. If they're not implemented, there's almost not a point for them. So we have to look at really shifting the beliefs that are there, that are not culture, as was spoken about before. It's not about culture. Typically, any religions we go back, that's most of our most historic collective theories that we can rely on. It was about respect. Well, where did that go? That's culture. It's about respect, right? And dignity and preservation for all. I mean, because you started off saying it's a crime against humanity, and that's really what it is. What occurs with women and children around the world is horrific.
So sometimes earlier we used to hear that people were uneducated, they indulge in these kind of acts. But we have seen many educated people have also been found guilty of having taken such aggressive behavior against women. So, Durant, education, is it helping, is it not helping in making us aware that women should be duly respected?
Definitely education always help. But you need to understand that what type of education. That every single thing, there is use and abuse. That if I give you a knife, you can kill a man, and that same knife, you can cut fruit. So the thing, I mean, I'm thinking this way, that's you have to have educated, but the rape and sex, that's kind of area. Lots of people, they can't control themselves. That's we have to agree. Like earlier, this thing has happened in I think 4 years before. Our governor, what happened with him? I think you can remember.
Yes.
Yeah. So lots of things. No, that's not. That's not rape.
Not rape. Yeah.
No, that's not rape. I'm not
talking about behavior.
Absolutely. I'm talking
sexual behavior.
Sexual behavior. Yes. So
that is unethical. Yes.
Yeah. Right. That's also unethical. So that's why I'm talking about these things. So education should be proper and not only educated. Like if you see in India, the people in position earlier, he talking about this gentleman talking about that what happened in India. Like you are in position and you are taking bribe. So nobody teach you morally, ethically. Nobody teach you that you got bribe, but everybody taking bribe. So I mean, before you, I believe, education is always required, but it should be properly education. What you learn, you should learn it from heart, and what people teaching, that should teaching from their heart. Then maybe, not only in professional way. That's
so. Indeed, when the learning is from the heart, then it stays with you. But when we start talking about learning from the heart, and that again, with respect call it spiritual understanding, or referring to what our scriptures are telling us, then people say you are becoming too Puritan, or that is not the way for a free society. So now this argument comes, if your traditions have some good values that would help you in being a good human being, are we reluctant in accepting them, Anandji?
Ashokji, it's not necessarily religion. You don't have to be religious. You can be spiritual. You can even as an atheist, you have to be a good citizen of the society you live in. We are talking about social norms, which I personally believe has nothing to do with your religion. In India, especially, it's not how you look upon a woman. A lot of rapes take place because of the caste reasons also. Like Thakurs, they will go and start raping lower caste people, and same way lower caste people, out of revenge, they will kidnap some girl from Thakur family. That's what we call is honor killing is very much prevalent in India, even though we have come a long way and we have improved a lot. And you say we are discussing social media and internet, all these things. I give credit to social media and internet for eradicating those kind of taboos also, intercaste marriages or honor killing, what we used to have earlier now has been reduced to a larger extent because of social media. So the society we live in, as a member of that particular society, as a citizen of that society, it becomes my duty to behave like a normal person. As he said, it's a psychic. It's your something sickness in your mind that compels you to commit those kind of crimes.
So very briefly, Sherry, what would be your advice in terms of any concrete step that can be taken which would help us in building that environment which would not let these things happen?
Well, along with the law and criminal charges, there needs to be rehabilitation. If it's gotten to the point of they have no control of impulsivity and it's become addictive behavior, but that would be questionable to say that everyone who rapes has addictive behavior. Men particularly rape because they can, and that's a very strong message that we've accepted it, even the stories that could be read in Transforming a Rape Culture. In fraternities, here in the Americas, right, fraternities, there's constantly rape on college campuses. There's to the tune of $32 billion of human trafficking. Children are being raped all around the world in sex trafficking, right, because men think they can buy sex too and call it sex when it's really rape. I know we just changed the laws in New Jersey. Children cannot consent to sexual exploitation or prostitution until, at least until 18. But how to change it, there has to be a complete paradigm shift around the way we're looking at it. I mean, there's an imbalance in a patriarchal culture that is male-dominated, that sexism, racism perpetuates patriarchy. So it gets very much more complex on other levels. Some even say, we've talked about bribery. There's a monetary reason, and that's under the umbrella of capitalism, all for greed and money. So there's many layers or pieces of the pie that we would really have to start attacking to eradicate. Eradication would be the goal. But we've had rape since the history of man.
So basically, as Duranto earlier mentioned, what should be a proper way that would enable you to control your desires, or the way you fulfill your desires, the proper, correct method. And what you were saying also somewhere connects with this. And looking at the time constraints, sometimes we have also heard this argument. Some people said that media is making this kind of environment which is encouraging people to indulge in such acts. Now, you have been thinking, Duranto, that media should or can be used to increase awareness and prevent such things from happening. Very briefly, in a minute, what would you say?
Of course, media can definitely take an initiative about that. But the problem is this: in India, media is easy punching back. So anybody can punch in media. That's media did that thing. But I want to request one thing: like, if we want to go to buy a home, we can see the HGTV. Or if we want to go for food channel, we can go to Food Network. But I never saw that there is any channel like that or any program that people can see that thing in order to prevent rape. So I want to request you one thing, to you, this respected gentleman, and Sherry, that we're going to make a program, maybe from your channel, that how can we prevent rape. And I believe we can make a documentary film, something especially for India, that the girl victim get isolated. So we can do a revolution.
Yeah, last words from you, quick.
The biggest problem in India is the stigma that is attached to the victim of rape. So rapist or perpetrator of the crime is scot-free, he enjoys his life, and the poor victim is now has been stigmatized, and nobody, especially in India, nobody will marry that poor girl because now she is a victim of rape. Whereas as compared to that in United States, even if you are a victim of rape, at least you are safe in that respect that you can choose your life partner and you can go. So it's very important, and I personally believe that the show you have done today, it's in the same direction what he has suggested. So this is a part of educating masses, and I personally believe that media is playing a positive role by exposing those kind of rape cases, creating that kind of awareness, and encouraging people like us to come to your show and at least have a intellectual discussion on this particular topic.
So Anand ji, I appreciate your contribution, I appreciate Sherry for joining us and Duranto. And the most important thing is ऐसा न हो, इसके लिए हम सजग रहें, अपने तौर पर संवेदनशील रहें, न केवल उनके लिए सम्मान के साथ उनके प्रति व्यवहार करते हुए, बल्कि इस तरह का वातावरण भी बनाएं कि अगर कोई पीड़ित हैं तो उनको समाज फिर से सम्मान के साथ जीने का अवसर दे सके। मेरे सभी पैनलिस्ट को धन्यवाद देने के साथ साथ आप सभी का हमारे साथ बने रहने के लिए आभार। अशोक व्यास को अनुमति दें और ये शुभकामना भी स्वीकारें कि आपका वीकेंड मंगलमय हो।
ससुर ये भी बताओ कि सांची जी की बदनामी किए वाला कौन था, पोस्टर कांड के पीछे किसका हाथ था, वो भी बता दो। आज लगे हाथ सबका सारा हिसाब कर देंगे।
जैसे इशारा कर रहे हैं आपकी प्रेम जिंदगी में थोड़ा संकट है।
रुक जाना नहीं, weekdays at 8:30 p.m., 7:30 Central.
For advertising, please call 347-653-1309.